just want to tell a few quick little stories before the sun sets and I lose the light. And also I want to watch the sunset in a minute. But I thought I'd make a little video about all the things that are trying to kill me at this farm, because that's fun. A couple little stories about some pests that have been around the house. One of the first nights, Ida and I found a gecko climbing across our bedroom wall. So I was like, oh, no worries, I'll take it outside, because I don't mind like picking him up and put him outside. So I go to grab the gecko, and I didn't know that this was a thing, but apparently geckos' tails fall off if like a predator tries to grab them, so that the bird or whatever it is that's trying to get it goes after its tail instead of it, and then it can escape. But I didn't know that actually happened. I never knew that. So I grabbed this gecko and I just hear and the tail falls off, and I'm like, oh my god, I heard it, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I heard the gecko. And Ida's like laughing hysterically. She's like, no, that happened, that's what they do. And I'm like, I like didn't believe her. I'm like, no, like I heard the gecko. And so then I like went outside, I released the gecko, and then Ida looks under her bed and the tail is moving by itself like a muscle spasm post-detaching or whatever. But she's just like screaming, she's like, oh my god, it's moving! And it was hilarious. Okay, second story. So, sometimes there are slugs around the house, around the farm, and then around our house also. So I was washing the dishes after lunch one day, and the drain was like kind of clogged up from like pieces of food that had like got there. So in order to drain the water out, I had to like stick my hand in and try and like pull the food out, which is disgusting. But anyways, I'm like pulling the food out, and all of a sudden my hand touches this like this size, like slug size slimy thing, and I'm like, oh my god, I like screamed. I'm like, oh, it's a slug in the sink, it's coming out of the drain. And I was like, I'm done, I'm out, I'm done. Someone else has to drain the sink. I'm done washing the dishes. This other Israeli staff, Nitzan's like, oh my god, get over it. Like, you have to face your fear. Just stick your hand in the sink and pull it out. And I was like, fuck no, I'm not touching that slug. I'm done. And so she drained the whole sink out, and the water finally goes down and clears, and we see what it was, and it was not a slug. It was a piece of penny pasta. So I was screaming over pasta. The lesson from this story is, if a piece of pasta falls on the floor, don't throw it in the sink. And the third, funny, but like scary at the moment, but funny in retrospect story, is that this thing came into the house. Like, we normally have the door open, so maybe that's why we have this many bugs and like pests in the house, but the door's normally open. So I was eating lunch one day, or just relaxing on the couch or whatever, and this thing comes in the door. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It looked like a snake, but it had legs on it, and it was not a gecko, it was not a lizard. It literally was like a snake body and little legs, but it moved like a snake. It was like this, and it didn't really like move, it didn't really use the legs at all, so it just kind of like this with its legs while its body was slithering. It was fucking weird. And so we looked it up after. It was like a skink, I guess it was called, but we were like, holy hell, what is that? And like freaking out. And I like guided it towards the door. I'm like, please leave, please leave, please leave, and it left on its own without me having to touch it, thank god. But and then a couple days later, there was another one, came back in the kitchen, and Ida like screamed. She was like, I'm not going back in the kitchen. But yeah, we've had fun times with all of the bugs and pests and all that kind of stuff here, so fun. And that's it for now. I will try and make a video soon, but we'll see. They take a while to edit and to upload, but I'll try. I'm having fun doing it. And yeah, I'll miss you guys.